The other day she was like, tell me about Daddy's day in heaven. So we talk about that at night. And then sometimes I'll say, well, tell me what you think he did in heaven today. And I just try to make it exciting, because heaven's our home. So I just want her to know that Daddy is having so much fun and building a place for her and our family.
We've seen it time and time again. Erika Kirk spinning stories that just don't line up. She once said she'd never dated before Charlie, then later claimed she didn't drink, but lying about your own children or even pretending to be pregnant? That's a whole different game entirely. This isn't just messy, it's chilling. So what's really going on here? Is Erika just cold and calculated, or could she be part of something much bigger? Maybe even acting out a script someone else handed her? Well, according to her estranged half-sister, Tanya Egret, it might actually be both. Tanya's saying something so wild it's almost hard to believe. She claims Erika faked her pregnancies and that neither of those kids are biologically hers. Sounds unreal, right? But then again, everything about Erika's story feels like it's been built on shaky ground. And if these rumors have any truth to them, it would explain a lot. Because when you really start looking, there's not a single solid photo of Erika during either of those pregnancies, just that one suspicious ultrasound clip. And believe me, we're gonna talk about why that footage doesn't add up later on. Now, Erika says she stayed out of the public eye for privacy reasons. Really? Privacy? From Erika Kirk? This is the same woman who filmed herself sobbing over her late husband and posted it online for millions to see. She even allowed merch to be sold at the funeral and set up a tent replica of the scene, charging fans to take selfies with it. And we're supposed to believe she hid away for 9 months twice because she wanted peace and quiet? Come on, not a single real photo has ever surfaced. So now people are wondering, are those two kids whose faces we never see just props in this whole strange setup? And where does Charlie fit into all of this? Was he part of it, or was he being deceived from the start? Well, according to what Erika's half-sister has revealed, we might finally be getting some real answers. Let's break it down. This part of the story is brand new, and it's wild. First off, Erika has never once mentioned having a half-sister.
Originally, when I was pregnant, hid. Not because I was embarrassed, not because I didn't want anyone. Yes, we did keep it very private, but because it was a moment very sacred.
Which already raises eyebrows, and from everything that's come out, the two of them are completely estranged. But here's the thing, this half-sister isn't some internet myth or random online rumor. She's very real, and there's actual paperwork to prove it. Public divorce documents from Erika's mother, Lori Franzi, clearly state that Lori has 2 daughters, Erika and an older daughter named Tanya Egret, born December 5th, 1969. So this isn't hearsay, it's right there in black and white legal documentation. According to those same files, when Lori split from Erika's father, Kent Fran, back in 1998, Erika was still living with her mom, while Tanya was already out of the house. That means there's a pretty major age gap between them, and likely a completely different childhood, different values, and totally different experiences shaping who they became. But there's still one mystery that isn't clear. Tanya's father. The records don't specify who he is, and it's unknown whether Lori was married before Kent or if Tanya came from an earlier relationship. Either way, what's coming next makes this even more unbelievable. Apparently, an anonymous insider claiming to know Tanya personally sent a direct message to Candace Owens. Yes, the same Candace who's been vocal about this entire situation. And according to this tip, the claim is jaw-dropping. They allege that Erika was never pregnant at all. They insist that the entire thing was fabricated, that the pregnancies were staged, and that the only reason we ever saw that one ultrasound clip was because it was all set up for show. Now let's get into that ultrasound footage, because this is where things get even stranger. Erika once posted a slick montage video on Instagram showing a positive pregnancy test, ultrasound visuals, and hospital scenes with her belly on display. You even see Charlie in some of those clips, along with Erika's mother, Lori. So at first glance, you'd think, all right, that proves it, right? But when you look closer, the timing and angles don't quite add up, and that's where the real questions begin. At first glance, that footage might look like proof that Erika was pregnant. But when you start looking closer, things stop making sense. Because here's the problem.
Kids are these. Erika Kirk provided this as proof of where she was September 9th.
We already know Erika Kirk has a habit of...
Nothing else actually confirms it. Let's start with the sonogram itself. The name printed on it doesn't read Erika Kirk. It says Erika Fee, using only her maiden name. Why would any hospital list it that way if she was publicly known as Kirk at the time? And that's not the only odd detail, and the format is off too. In standard medical documentation, the last name is usually written first, so it should read Franz Erika, not Erika Franz. It may sound like a small thing, but when you stack all these inconsistencies together, it starts to look more like a pattern than a coincidence. Now here's where it takes an even stranger turn. Candace Owens recently revealed that a whistleblower came forward with claims that someone who looked exactly like Erika was spotted at a classified military meeting just one day before Charlie's tragic incident. Erika hasn't publicly commented on those allegations, but instead of addressing them herself, she reportedly sent TPUSA spokesman Andrew Cole to smooth things over, and that move didn't exactly help her case. According to reports, Andrew reached out to a random YouTuber and provided what was supposed to be Erika's proof that she was nowhere near that location. He sent a photo dated September 9th, showing two children whose faces were completely covered by Erika's finger, supposedly to protect their privacy. That picture was meant to serve as her alibi, proving she was with her kids that day. But there's a major issue. Whose kids are those, really? Take a closer look. The little boy in that photo appears to be around 3 or 4 years old. But according to public records, Charlie's son would have only been about 16 months old at the time, born in May 2024. There's just no way that child in the picture is under 2 years old, even if he's unusually tall for his age. And when you compare that to an earlier photo from their son's first birthday, taken just 4 months before, the difference is shocking. The boy in the birthday photo clearly looks like a toddler, but the one in the alibi picture looks significantly older. So now people are asking, whose child did Erika actually use for that September 9th post? It doesn't stop there. During interviews when Charlie was still alive, Erika often spoke about her daughter, but barely mentioned their son, almost like he didn't exist in her narrative.
And I said, if ever you want to talk to Daddy, you just look up to the sky and start talking to him. He can hear you. He's always in.
And let's not forget, she also claimed to have undergone C-sections for both births, using that as the reason she was hesitant about having another baby. But when every piece of evidence surrounding these supposed pregnancies starts to look off, that explanation suddenly doesn't hold as much weight anymore. As strange as it already sounds, the story doesn't stop there, because what comes next makes this entire situation feel even murkier. Once people began piecing together the inconsistencies in Erika's pregnancy timeline, a new wave of questions started hitting the internet. And suddenly, what looked like a simple family mystery began turning into something that felt more like a calculated performance, one that may have gone on for years without anyone realizing. After Charlie's passing, Erika's public image changed almost overnight. Gone was the soft-spoken private figure the public once knew. Instead, she re-emerged as someone completely different, polished, confident, camera-ready, and somehow always one step ahead of every rumor. But what stood out wasn't her transformation, it was how perfectly timed everything seemed, almost as if she'd been preparing for it. According to Tanya, the half-sister who's been quietly sharing what she knows, this entire pattern goes way back. Tanya allegedly told close friends that Erika had always been deeply theatrical, obsessed with image and status since her teenage years. Tanya described her as someone who could shift personalities depending on who she was with. And while that could sound harmless at first, in hindsight, it adds another layer to this already puzzling situation. Because when you line up Erika's story, it's like each chapter was written with public sympathy in mind: the grieving widow, the strong single mother, the woman finding purpose through pain. It's a narrative that played perfectly on emotion, and that's exactly what kept people hooked. But now, with all these new claims surfacing, people are starting to ask, was it all staged from the beginning? One of the biggest turning points came when fans revisited Erika's early interviews after Charlie's passing. In one of them, she talked about how she had—
You guys aren't done, are you?
We might have one more.
Okay.
I'm kind of torn. The only reason why I'm torn is because I had C-sections for both, so I'm like, how many more times does Charlie need to see my organs? So, I mean, we'll see.
But 2 babies under 2 and was juggling grief with motherhood. But there were no details, no birth dates mentioned, no verified hospital records, not even official family statements, just carefully worded phrases that kept everything vague but emotionally charged. And yet, what really started to unravel her narrative wasn't something she said, it was what she showed. That famous ultrasound clip and those hospital videos that were meant to silence rumors actually opened the door for deeper investigation. Viewers noticed inconsistencies in lighting, angles, and even the equipment shown on screen. The hospital room seen in her footage didn't match the standard layout of any local facilities around where she claimed to have given birth. In fact, a few medical workers online pointed out that the monitor used in the video looked outdated by nearly a decade. Then came the most shocking claim of all, that one of those hospital scenes wasn't filmed in the United States at all. According to an anonymous commenter who said they recognized the equipment's branding, it matched a model typically found in European clinics, not American ones. Of course, that doesn't prove anything concrete, but it does raise a question. If Erika really was pregnant and had nothing to hide, why not share one verifiable piece of evidence? Even her social media patterns began to look suspicious. During both supposed pregnancies, Erika's posts showed her full body almost daily, but somehow not once with any visible bump, and yet she continued posting selfies, outfit photos, and staged family moments. It's almost as if her image was being carefully maintained to project a specific kind of life, one that looked perfect but stayed just distant enough to avoid scrutiny. After Charlie's passing, this strategy continued. Erika used grief as a stage. Instead of retreating from the spotlight, she stepped further into it, releasing tribute videos, launching charitable campaigns, even selling limited edition memorabilia featuring Charlie's initials. At first, fans thought it was a touching way to honor him, but others couldn't shake the feeling that it was all happening too fast, too polished, too strategic.
Married.
Yes.
You have 2 kids.
2 precious babies.
And you told me this in private, but how many kids did you guys want to have?
We wanted to have 4. Yeah. And I was praying to God that I was pregnant when he got murdered.
Tanya allegedly pointed out something similar. She said Erika never does anything without knowing what she'll gain from it. If true, that might explain why even something as emotional as loss turned into an opportunity to build her public image. But let's go back to the kids for a second, because that's where things really twist. When Erika posts about them, which isn't often, their faces are always covered. Always. That's not unusual for celebrity parents, but the way she does it feels different. Fans noticed that the children's hair colors, heights, and even apparent ages seem to shift drastically between appearances. 1 month, they look like toddlers. The next, like preschoolers. For 2 children supposedly under 3, that's a big visual jump. Then there's the matter of Charlie's own family. His relatives have reportedly kept their distance, refusing to confirm or deny the children's existence publicly. And that silence speaks volumes. If these kids were truly their blood relatives, why wouldn't they step forward to celebrate them, especially after everything the family's gone through? Some insiders think the tension runs deeper, that the family might have their own doubts, but legal agreements or NDAs are keeping them quiet. Around this time, Erika's publicist released a statement saying she values privacy and wants to protect the children from online negativity, but critics pointed out how selective that privacy seems to be. Erika has no issue posting heavily edited photo shoots, interviews, and luxury lifestyle clips, just not anything that could verify her personal story. As for that supposed ultrasound, tech experts who reviewed the clip say it looks like it could have been composited, meaning the footage might have been layered with stock elements. Again, no one's claiming proof, but even the possibility adds fuel to the ongoing questions. Meanwhile, Tanya's been reportedly providing more details to people close to the situation. She said that growing up, Erika had a habit of making up stories to impress others, pretending to have different jobs, friendships, or relationships that didn't exist. Tanya allegedly described her as someone who believes her own lies, and if that's true, it paints a tragic picture of a woman so desperate for control that she'd reshape reality to suit her image. There's also a rumor that one of the so-called pregnancy hospital scenes used in Erika's montage might have originally belonged to another content creator's vlog, posted years earlier, and then re-edited. That claim hasn't been verified, but a few people online claim to have found identical visual details like wall colors, signage, and background beeps. Whether coincidence or something more, it adds to the sense that something here doesn't line up. And what about Charlie? Where does he fit into all this? Some believe he might have been completely unaware, trusting the woman he loved without ever questioning the story. Others think he may have sensed something was off but chose to stay quiet, focusing instead on his career and family image. Either way, it's heartbreaking to think that behind those polished public smiles could have been an entirely different reality playing out. At the end of the day, all of this comes down to one question: who is the real Erika Kirk? Is she a grieving widow unfairly targeted by conspiracies, or a master manipulator who built her public identity on illusion? Maybe the truth lies somewhere in between? What's clear is that too many details surrounding her story don't match up. From the timelines and the names on medical files to the ever-changing images of the children and the suspiciously convenient alibis. Whether this is all coincidence or something carefully designed, one thing is certain. People are paying attention now, and every new discovery only deepens the mystery. As the speculation around Erika Kirk keeps spreading, the public's patience is wearing thin. What started as whispers in comment sections has turned into full-on public debate, with fans and critics analyzing every post, every interview, every photo, all trying to figure out what's real and what's just performance. And the more people look, the more it seems like every part of Erika's life might have been built on a carefully crafted illusion. Let's talk about how we got here. Erika's story once looked like the perfect picture of love and tragedy. The devoted wife, the heartbroken widow, the resilient mother trying to find purpose again. But now each of those details is being questioned one by one. Even the most loyal fans are admitting that things don't quite add up anymore. The timelines, the photos, the sudden shifts in her personality, and it's all starting to feel staged. And here's what's even more unsettling. As soon as people began digging into her claims, Erika started changing her story. Old videos began disappearing from her social media, captions were rewritten, and entire posts vanished without explanation. When journalists reached out for clarification, she didn't respond directly. Instead, her team quietly released vague statements about online misinformation. But what kind of misinformation conveniently erases your own past posts? That's the question everyone's asking. Meanwhile, Tanya, the half-sister who first revealed those family records, has allegedly been receiving messages warning her to stop talking. Friends close to Tanya claim she's been told to leave it alone and that people don't realize how deep this goes. Whether that's just paranoia or something more serious, it's definitely made Tanya more cautious about speaking publicly. But she's still sharing bits and pieces with those who are listening, and each new detail adds more confusion to the already tangled story. For example, Tanya reportedly mentioned that when she tried to reconnect with Erika years ago, she was shocked to find that Erika had reinvented her entire background. She was using a different version of her childhood story. Different schools, different memories, even different details about their mother. Tanya said it was like talking to a stranger wearing my sister's face. That line alone has haunted a lot of people who heard it because it perfectly captures the eerie vibe of everything that's come since. And yet, despite all this, Erika still maintains her charm online. She knows how to win sympathy. Every time a controversy breaks, she posts something emotional. Did a handwritten note, a tearful video, a behind-the-scenes moment with dramatic music. It's a classic distraction move. By showing just enough vulnerability, she redirects attention away from the inconsistencies. And somehow it always works. The cycle repeats: confusion, outrage, apology, forgiveness. But that formula might be losing its power, because lately people aren't falling for it as easily. Too many viewers have started noticing how her reactions seem rehearsed, as if she's acting out damage control rather than processing real emotion. When she cries, her timing is perfect for the camera. When she smiles, it's right when the music swells. It's cinematic. But that's the problem. Real grief isn't cinematic. Real life doesn't have perfect lighting. And there's another piece of this puzzle that's getting harder to ignore: money. Following Charlie's passing, Erika reportedly gained control of several shared accounts and projects that were still active under his name. Fans noticed sudden rebranding efforts, turning what used to be joint ventures into solo ones. Even the merchandise associated with their foundation was quietly shifted under her direct management. None of that is illegal, but it does raise questions about timing and intention. Tanya has also claimed that Charlie's parents were left out of financial decisions involving their son's legacy. They allegedly discovered certain trademarks and intellectual properties had been transferred right after the funeral. Again, nothing proven yet. But the paperwork trail seems to show a quick transition that most families wouldn't even think about during mourning. It paints a picture of someone who moves fast, who always thinks ahead, maybe too far ahead. And that's exactly why so many are struggling to separate what's true from what's calculated. Because if Erika really did plan all of this, it would mean years of manipulation. Every smile, every post, every headline designed for maximum emotional impact. But if she didn't, then she's a woman unfairly crushed by conspiracy theories, trying to hold her life together while the internet tears it apart. Both versions are heartbreaking in their own way, and that's what makes this story so fascinating. The strange part is no one's heard a single public word from Charlie's closest friends. Normally, in tragedies like this, someone steps forward to clear the air, but here it's silence. Complete silence. That's either extreme loyalty or a sign that everyone's keeping their distance for a reason. And the longer that silence lasts, the louder the speculation becomes. Even people inside the industry are starting to whisper that Erika's influence reaches further than most realize. Some believe her connection to powerful circles may be why certain topics about her are being quietly buried online. Others think it's all coincidence, that the internet simply moves on when new scandals take over. Either way, it's creating the kind of mystery that no PR team can fully control. At this point, there's no denying that the Erika Kirk story has become bigger than anyone expected. What began as a conversation about one woman's grief has turned into a full-blown debate about authenticity, manipulation, and the blurry line between truth and image in the age of social media. People want answers, but more than that, they want honesty. Fast forward to now, and suddenly Erika's story has changed again. She's now claiming that she and Charlie had dreams of having 4 children, completely skipping over those earlier claims about having C-sections that supposedly made her hesitant about more kids. It's yet another contradiction in a growing list that just doesn't make sense. Nothing about this timeline adds up, not the marriage, not the pregnancies, not even Erika's life before joining TPUSA. Everything surrounding her past seems blurry, inconsistent, or carefully edited. So the question now is if this really was all part of one big act. Was Charlie involved too, or was he completely deceived by the person he trusted most? And here's where things start to sound even more unbelievable. Remember that extravagant wedding Charlie and Erika threw at the Fairmont Scottsdale Princess Luxury Resort? It looked like a fairy tale. But reports claim that the entire celebration was actually funded by TPUSA donors. Even more surprising, some insiders say the event doubled as a fundraiser for the organization. According to the Mirror, the couple deliberately scheduled their wedding reception to line up with TPUSA's 9th anniversary, which allegedly allowed them to categorize parts of the event as a business expense. That move alone has left a lot of people speechless. Because if that's true, it suggests there was far more strategy behind their so-called love story than anyone realized. And that's why people can't stop asking, if Erika really faked her pregnancies, how could Charlie not have noticed? Was he blind to it, or was he quietly playing along? Both options are disturbing. Because if he was in on it, that opens the door to something even darker. And if he wasn't, then it means the deception went deeper than anyone could have imagined. Comments online have been exploding with theories. One person wrote, "I don't think she was ever pregnant." For a man who always talked about family values, marriage, and having kids, to never once show her pregnancy to the public, that's just strange. Another added, "I'm starting to wonder if this was even a real marriage at all." And honestly, can you blame them? Erika's entire public persona was built around promoting family values. Yet she hid both pregnancies, never shared proof, and now spends her time everywhere except with the 2 children she claims to have. Meanwhile, those same kids, the ones she rarely mentions, are almost invisible to the world. So what really happened here? Were Charlie and Erika building a brand, not a family? Were the grand speeches about faith, family, and values just part of the show? Nobody knows for sure. But the contradictions keep piling up, and with every new revelation, the truth feels further away. Whatever the case may be, one thing is clear. This story is nowhere near finished. The questions, the secrets, the silence, they're all pushing this saga into even stranger territory. So what do you think really went on behind closed doors? Were we watching a genuine love story or one of the most convincing performances social media has ever seen? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read them all. And if you found this breakdown as shocking as I did, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video to keep the conversation going. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.